Okay guys, we're going to be talking about percentages today. So a percentage is just a ratio where the second term is 100. So an example of that would be, let's say we had a ratio of 23 to 100. Okay, so our ratio was 23 over 100. And if we wanted to express that as a percent, we'd say, well, 23 over 100 is the same thing as 23%. So the idea is, if we're trying to find what the percentage of something is, we can basically do the same thing that we've done with everything else, which is cross multiply. So let's say that we had 12 students in a class of 30 boys. Sorry, 12 students in a class of 30 are boys. So 12 students in a class of 30 are boys. So 12 students in a class of 30 are boys. And what we want to do is to determine what the percentage of boys is in the class. So what percent of the class are boys? Well, all we would do is set it up as a ratio. So we know there are 12 students in the class that are boys. So we know we have 12 boys. And we know that 12 are boys out of 30 students. And what we're trying to do is figure out what is the percentage. So what is the percent that are boys? So this is my whole class. This 30 students is my entire class, and this is my whole percent. So all I would do is the same thing we've done before, which is cross multiply. So if I cross multiply and go 12, so if I were to figure this out by going 12 times 100 divided by 30, I would end up with 40. And 40 out of 100, which in the end would give me 40% are boys. That's really all it is if you're trying to figure out what the percentage of something is. That's it. It doesn't get more complicated than that. Now what if we're trying to figure out not just percentage, but percents and decimals? So what if we're trying to figure out percents and decimal numbers? Well, what we would do is we'd have to convert. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, we have 35%. And I want to convert that into a decimal number. Well, 35% is the same thing as 35 out of 100. That's 35%. And if I divide 35 by 100, so if I go 35 divided by 100, it'll give me 0.35. And I get my decimal number. So it's really, that's it. That's all there is to it. So you're basically, to convert a percent to a decimal number, we express the percent as a fraction. So we have our percent, we express it as a fraction with a denominator of 100, and then we divide the numerator by the denominator, and we get our percent. Now what happens if we want to convert a decimal number? So we want to convert a decimal number into a percent. Well, what we have to do is, well, we'll have our decimal number. So let's say we have 0.25. What we need to do is we multiply the decimal number by the fraction 100 over 100, and we express the new fraction as a percent. So what we do is we go, all right, 0.25 times 100 over 100. And what we would get is 0.25 times 100 over 100, and that will end up giving us 25 over 100, which can be expressed as 25%. You can even just go 0.25 and multiply it by 100, and it's still going to give you 25%. It's the same idea the whole way through. So this is what we need to do if we want to convert percents and decimal numbers. So if we have a percent, we put it over 100, and then we go 35 divided by 100, and it'll give us our decimal number. And if we already have the decimal number, we multiply it by 100 over 100. Take our numerator with the denominator, write it as 25 over 100, or whatever our decimal number happens to be, and we get our percent. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys just to get started, and I'll put another one up real soon. So take care, guys, and good luck with the studying.